Okay, hello, greetings and welcome. All right, the Tai Chi journey. How do you master Tai Chi? Now, Tai Chi has this idea that mind moves Chi and Chi moves body. Mind moves Chi and Chi moves body. So to do this, if a person's not doing it, they're not doing Tai Chi. This is how Tai Chi moves its body. It's the engine. There are a lot of other ways to get results where people can demonstrate Tai Chi, but if they're not following the Tai Chi model, it's not Tai Chi, they're doing something else. So we need to learn how to regulate the three Dantians. Mind, mental, upper Dantian, moves Chi, middle Dantian, Chi moves body. So we have the three Dantians. The lower Dantian has a certain type of body mechanic, the middle Dantian has a certain type of astral mechanic, and the upper Dantian has a certain type of mental mechanic. And the mechanics of these three centers align to produce very distinct results. Now, the physical mechanic is controlled by the joints. You don't control body movement from muscle, you control it from the joint. The way the muscle bridges across the joint, it chooses whether your muscle is going to contract or your muscle is going to expand. If the muscle expands and stretches open, it's activating fascia. So mechanically, we're focusing more on moving through the fascia than we are than moving through muscle contraction and muscle tension. We want fascial tension, not muscle tension. This is a very, very important difference in internal training and external training. Now, a lot of external martial arts use internal principles in the way that they relax their body. They're training internally without really having the label of understanding, I'm training internally, I'm activating fascia rather than activating muscle. And understanding the difference allows you to not waste time. It allows you to train efficiently and get results quickly. So my goal with this video is to go through what are the body mechanics, what are the feeling mechanics, and what are the mind mechanics. So mind moves Chi and Chi moves body, and you can train internally correctly so you get results quickly. Okay. Now, while we vital breathe, and many of the viewers who have been following you for a while have done the building the ball Qigong exercise, and they've got this magnetic feeling between the hands. And this exercise just requires you to pull the joints open ever so gently and push the joints open ever so gently while maintaining a majority of your awareness in the ball, in the space between your hands. So you have a background awareness controlling the body and a foreground awareness of, yes, I'm focusing on this point, and activating the spirit senses. Now, if I was to perform this exercise with my mind inside my body, breathing into my Dantian, I would fail. And history shows that people who do that have a very low probability of success. Why would I fail? Because your physiology will regulate your mind. You need to get the mind outside the body to activate the spirit senses. If the mind is inside the body, you're activating physiological senses. We don't just sense with our body, we also sense with our mind. So the mind, in order to move the Chi, first has to be awakened that it can actually be sensitive to Chi, that it can actually do something with Chi, that there's an intuitive sense, there's a spiritual awareness that needs to be awakened. So we want to awaken what we call spirit senses. And spirit senses can only awaken outside of the body. But we're going to use the body to concentrate our will, concentrate the breath, which gathers the life force in this space, so we feel Jin, we feel the vitality of our body. So practice this exercise until that feeling arises. Now, that feeling of vitality, it's not Chi, it's vitality, it's of the body. We haven't got to the Chi stage. We've got to reticulate between the body and the Chi to transform energy into Chi and then sync it to the physical so that we can move the Chi through our center of mass to move the body. The body style of movement is moving our mass through the facial web. And as we move mass through the facial web, we stretch to move our weight. If we're running, we're moving our weight through a stretched openness of the joints while we run. High-level runners do this unconsciously. When they run, you can see everything stretched open, and as their foot touches the ground, it's like they're bouncing on a trampoline. It's all fascia. And they're glowing. And it's a good sign that someone's doing it right. You walk into a yoga class and have a look around, the most flexible person in the room isn't the one glowing because their joints are limp and overstretched. It's the person who's really enjoying opening the joint, stretch everything out, that has that radiance. Ah, that person's doing yoga correctly. They're cultivating prana. Their energy is radiating because they have the correct stretch. The piano wire is taut. It's not limp. Yoga is not meant to be a thing where people make their body limp. It's meant a thing where they make their body radiate. And Tai Chi is the same, but it's built under the conditions for a different purpose. It has a martial history behind it. And it's also used for health, and it can also be used for spiritual development. So depending what direction you're taking it. Mechanics. So when we increase the vital energy, there's a feeling across the joint of expansion for electric, and there's a feeling across the joint of pulling the joint open for magnetic. So we have a pulling feeling quality for magnetic yin energies, and this expanding power pushing quality for electric. And it's through the fascia. So if I was to do a magnetic exercise where I pull to throw and I throw, then that's a magnetic exercise. Where if I want to create an electric where I expand the power out, that's an electric exercise. So we want to differentiate the vital energy into electric and magnetic fluids. When we release time on these fluids, it transforms into chi. Then mind can move chi, reticulate through the mechanic to move the body. And mind moves chi, chi moves body. Then we can do Tai Chi correctly. So step one, vital breathe. What are the laws of this? The mind has to be outside the body predominantly. As you breathe out, you stretch into the ball, condense your breath in the ball, and gently stretch all the joints open. As you breathe in, you pull the joints open, keep your mind predominantly in the ball. You're pulling the joints open, so part of your mind has to do that, but you're mostly in the ball. And just gently switch from electric to magnetic until that magnetic fluid builds. Now, we want to slow that energy down to get it to work in the astral, so we can get it into the astral body. We're not going to give it a personality yet. We're going to keep this energy relatively neutral. Now, chi, astral fluid, condenses in the area or center of expression of the chi. Tai Chi expresses chi physically through motion. So even though the center of gravity of the astral body is up here, the chi will center in your center of mass. Why does it center in your center of mass? Because that is where you express the chi from. You're moving from here and you're moving that energy out. So you're moving from center. So what we want to be doing is cultivating an awareness of vital energy, releasing time in that energy, slowing it down, and connecting that slowness to our center of mass. Once we've slowed that energy down into our center of mass, we can amplify that slowness through what we call the 4-cycle breath. So draw the vital energy in, pause, enter the stillness, and then in that stillness recognize timelessness. Take that timelessness and breathe it out with the feeling of the vital energy. This releases time and slows the energy down dramatically. As it slows, it'll get thicker, it'll get denser. This is chi. This is astral substance or astral fluid. And because we're keeping it very firmly connected to movement, and movement is regulated by movement of center of mass, lower Dantian, it'll follow your center of mass. So if I want to do a circling exercise, my center of mass moves and I move through the fascia stretch. The chi moves and waves with it. If I build that chi up strong enough, it'll affect my training partners, my environment. And we start training internally. This is Dantian movement, Dantian rotation. On my Tai Chi course on Vimeo, I go into very, very deep detail on how to do this. All the pattern spirals, how to move the Dantian, rotate the Dantian, move mass, to move chi and create empty force effects. So this is all on my Vimeo channel. Now we're just going to cover the fundamental theory and jump through it a little bit, do a type of revision. Now once we've been doing this astral breathing, chi breathing, or we're releasing time while we vitally breathe to condense a type of vital astral elixir, we have two fields, the vital field and the astral field, and we bridge that astral chi into the vital body, and now we have to move it. And we do this through Dantian rotation. We move our center of mass forward and backward, and we go up and down, left and right, forward and backward, spinning these directions, spinning those directions, spinning this direction. You take those feelings and you start going through the circles, going up and down the 6 directions. And as you do this, you're going to start bringing it into movements with the arms. And there's patterns of movement which amplify this learning, which is on the Vimeo channel. Now, once you're at that stage, then you can move your center of mass down into the ground, wave it up to lift your hands, hollow the chest round, sink back down again, move it into the ground. And whether you stop the center of mass moving and rotating from here and generating more snapping fast types of movements, or whether you're doing longer waving patterns from the extremities into the earth, from the crown into the earth, when you're invoking light through your body, move the mass and the light together to manifest and generate radiance. Whatever alchemical formula you're using in your Tai Chi, there needs to be a synchronicity between the frequency of the mind, the upper Dantian, regulates the frequency of concentration, it regulates time, it regulates space. How that comes into the chi, we're still maintaining a neutral personality, we're giving it minimal personality traits, and how it connects into your body mechanics. Now there's many different models for bringing the 3 Dantians together to create internal effects. I choose to teach you this model first because it gives results the quickest. Once people get good at Dantian rotation model and how it relates to the ground path model, how it relates to the drum model, how it relates to the polarity differential model, you can start doing all the models. They all make sense. But when you do this one first, it's just as simple as feeling, attaching feeling to center of mass, moving center of mass through fascia, and you have power. The chi will move with the mass through the stretch, and power will express itself. So whether you're doing arm palm and doing this, whether you're doing push hands, Fajin exercises, then from there we go, okay, what are we going to do with this chi? Got to give it a personality. Ward off, roll back, press, push, and so forth. So ward off, triple yang, is triple electric. Roll back, triple yin, pull the joints open, it's magnetic, it sucks the person in. And we start looking at what are the body mechanics that I need to fuel pure yin? What are the body mechanics I need to fuel pure yang? What are the body mechanics that I need for press? And so forth. And then we adapt the nature of the body mechanics to fuel the personality. We reticulate and train those energies until we can put them on a training partner and influence our training partners. This is very, very important. That you have to have a training partner that is going to stimulate the right mental reaction, the right chi reaction, and the right body reaction from you to draw the correct response out of you. Then make it a habit. So when a person puts their hands on you, they draw the ideal reflective response to the nature of their hands that they placed on you, so you deal with it accordingly. That is Tai Chi. Okay, so this first model we cover in the course. Then from there, once you've got that model, we start looking at, okay, how does the ground path model work? How does the mental vacuity model work? How does the drum model work? How does the pressure differential model work? And other models. How does the elemental model work? How does the spirit invocation model work? Some people invoke spirits and have a large mental space of consciousnesses inside their Tai Chi, and they get these spirits to help them perform different types of Fa Jin. There's lots of different ways of doing this, and at the end they can produce an almost identical result. You look at it and go, oh wow, he bounced him. How did he do that? He used one of the models. Now what most Tai Chi masters, Qigong masters do is they track a result. So they'll get a small result. Go, oh, they give a person a little hop. Oh, how did I do that? How did that work? Okay. Now how do I replicate that? So they'll feel it and they'll build a feeling. They'll build a particular type of Qi that gives them that result. They'll keep paying attention to it, stretching in the right way, relaxing in the right way, mechanically moving in the right way to amplify that result. Now once they got that result, they can bounce people, but people don't really know how that person got it, and people don't really know how to teach it. Because if they stumbled into it accidentally, or they're just highly empathic and felt it and guided their own body to amplify it, all they can do is say, this is the feeling, I do these movements with this feeling and that happens. Because these people we call naturals. They're highly clairsentient, and their unconscious intuitively expresses their goal for them, and they develop that skill. Now this is okay if you're just a solo practicer, but if you're a teacher, you have to define the role of the mental body, the role of the astral body, and the role of the physical body. Now these are hermetic metaphysical terms. You know, some people say, oh, the upper Dantian, the middle Dantian, lower Dantian. These are centers of gravity. Center of gravity of the physical body, center of gravity of the astral body, center of gravity of the mental body. Okay, we'll leave this introduction to Tai Chi and introduction to this course. What I can assure you with this course, it's the only course of its kind in the world, and it's the most comprehensive Tai Chi course in existence. I doubt that there will ever be anyone who'll put something better in my lifetime. So people just like to hide this stuff. I like to give it to people because I enjoy watching people grow. If you're interested, have a look at the Vimeo channel and ask me any questions if you're a subscriber to it, and I'll answer questions in relation to the training program, in relation to my understanding of Tai Chi. Not so much traditional questions, I'm not an expertise in that, there's a lot of other people that focus on that, but how to develop Tai Chi. All right, thanks for your time, and see you on the Vimeo channel.